All right, what's next on the docket? You want to talk briefly about Stargirl that you barely watched?
Yeah, tell me why this show is worth watching, man. I watched the first episode and it was cool. I just didn't like when it got to the high school shit and this girl's the cool girl, and I got too high school for me. So
no, that shit gets wild. It gets a lot better. So this is what makes Stargirl good. It is a DC Universe property that shows on CW. So it doesn't have all the CW tropes. So they're able to tell a story without focusing on the love triangle, without focusing on petty high school drama, they're able to tell like stories of like feminism without being heavy-handed. Like you watch something like Batgirl and she's looking at her costume, they're working on the costume, they're like, this costume would be better if it was made for a woman. You know, like that's the type of line and dialogue that you get from like Supergirl and Batwoman. And this show, I said movie because it feels like a movie. They're able to tell those stories and tell those messages without being heavy-handed. So the first episode, you basically just saw her meet the first bad guy who could go inside people's brains, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So from there, it progresses to her rebuilding the JSA, the Justice Society of America. So she finds all the different pieces, and she's going through town trying to recruit different people. So one of the people that she gets is Wildcat. You saw when she went to lunch and she sat with the different people?
Yeah, I remember that.
So the Spanish girl, each episode like focuses on a specific member. So they had a Wildcat episode and they tell you her backstory.
So it follows her.
So yeah, they showed you why she sits there by herself. So what happened was she was talking to a football player and everything was going good, and she sent him like some titty pictures. And one of the mean girls took those titty pictures, and while she was doing a speech at school, like displayed that shit like to everybody in school while she was doing she was running for class president. So she showed all the titty pictures there and that. So she kind of became a recluse because her family's like very religious, and her becoming Wildcat was like her escape to get out of that. So like Stargirl like taught her like, hey, you could fight your ass off. Why don't you like, you know, come out and help me? So she becomes Wildcat, and then a good moment that like a really like, again, not being heavy-handed moment in that episode was like her family kind of basically disowned her because of the whole titty thing, because they're like, oh, you bring shame to our family. Yeah. So she finally like stands up to her parents and she's like, look, we all make mistakes. I made a mistake a year and a half ago. Let me grow. Let me go out in this world and do something. Yeah. And her dad and everybody still looked at her and they're like, nah, go back to your room. Wow. So she's like, fuck this. I'm about to be a crime fighter. So she becomes Wildcat and she like sneaks out at night and does that. Now the other character, the nerd girl, Beth Chapel, she doesn't really have any friends. Like her best friend's her parents, and you never really get to see them. I think they're like doctors or something like that.
Oh, okay, so, with the glasses.
So she ends up getting her abilities. She gets, I think she's Night Owl. She gets these special goggles where she could like get into any type of like information or anything like that. So she's so she's like the hacker. Well, she's out on the field too. So they bring her out on missions. Like if they need to hack something, she can use her goggles to see like what the code is for something. Yeah. Or like one guy was getting beat up, so she used her goggles, and the goggles like, hey, use the fire extinguisher and spray this person with that. Yeah. So that's her power. And then the other guy, he has like his power is good, but it kind of sucks. He has this hourglass, and then when he turns it upside down, he has super strength, but you only have it for an hour. So you gotta kind of like, all right, man, I got this hour. I gotta get everything done. I gotta get everything done in this hour. I'm gonna get the shit kicked out of me. And his story was that his dad was the original hourglass, and he died, and he got left with his abusive uncle who just treats him like shit. Oh shit!
I like the cast. I feel like Joel McHale is not going to just be there for one episode. He'll be back again. He's probably alive doing some douchebag shit.
And you don't even know if that's truly her dad. They kind of leave that as a mystery because she keeps saying, Star, man's my dad, and that one guy who builds the machine, like the ghetto Iron Man. Yeah. That's a ghetto ass. Well, that's the other thing I like about the show. Every other episode, he goes to a scrapyard and he's picking up different pieces for his machine.
Oh, okay. I like his character in this so far. Yeah, Stripes. Stripey or whatever. He looks like Where's Waldo. He looked like a Where's Waldo character or something.
So he finally, like in the newer episodes, he finally got somebody to help him build it. But like every other episode, he's been going there, and the guy at the junkyard's like, "What the fuck are you building? A tank?" He's like, "You're here every week buying random stuff," and he's like, "Oh well, I'm just trying to refurbish this car of mine, They're like, "Nah, man, you building the tank. Why you need a jet engine and all this stuff?" So yeah, that's what I like about it. I like the dynamic of the characters. I like that they kill kids. They murdered this one kid. I think the third episode. He was a dumbass though. He was all about magic.
Yeah. And
his cars are like flying into the road, and he ran running after it, and the big ass like semi truck ran into him.
Oh wow.
It was a bad guy that killed it. And here's the other thing that made it more effed up. The bad guy, like the Injustice Syndicate, they're all like higher ups in the town. Like they're the mayor, they're doctors, they're lawyers, they're principal.
Illuminati.
So yeah, like all the higher ups in the town are part of the Injustice Society. Yeah. So when he killed that dude, he knew that he was the son to one of the guys in the Injustice Society. He did that shit on purpose. It was an ice guy, I forgot his name, but he made the ground slippery. And homeboy slipped into the road, and he made that truck run into his ass. I was like, "Damn, y'all just killing kids in this show."
Now, is this League before Justice League in DC Comics?
Yeah, this is like
it is before, right?
Yeah, you remember like the old school Green Lantern with the cape?
Yeah.
Yeah, people like that because she has the lantern, but they haven't recruited anybody for that yet.
Damn, man. DC seems like they have it, but they don't know how to like say what they have. How to show it, because they have everything. Like, I hope the show works out. I'll check out another episode tonight. Cause
the last episode, they all came together with their costumes, but they had to fight. You ever watch Young Justice? You remember Sport Master with the hockey mask?
Sounds familiar.
He was beating the brakes off of them, man. He was just taking. He was beating them up with sports supplies. It's like he went to. It's like he went to
KC Jones.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like he went to Dick's Sporting Goods and just grabbed a bunch of shit, and he just took baseballs. He was beating the shit out of them because the thing is, he don't really have.
Sports check for our Canadian listeners.
Yeah, he doesn't really have like superpowers. He's just really good at all sports.
He's basically KC Jones.
Pretty much. So like the guy with the super strength was beating them up. He's like, "I'm gonna hit you in the dick with this baseball bat."
Yeah. Chug on this puck. Chug on this puck.
So he was just making like ridiculous like shots. He was hitting them with hockey
boomerangs,
pucks, everything. Yeah. So I was just like, that was dope how they did that. And his wife is the same way. And like throughout the show, you see them when they're not in costume in the show all the time, like at sporting events.
Yeah.
And then you finally see them in the costume in the film, because at every sporting event, they're always complaining. And the coaches keep disappearing.
Yeah.
And you found out that they keep killing the different coaches.
Okay.
It's good, man.
It's the best one out of these ones that you've seen in a minute. Would you put it up there with the...
It's up there with Doom Patrol. I have more fun.
That's what I was about to say. With Doom Patrol and
I have more fun with
Boys.
Stargirl than Doom Patrol lately.
Okay. What about the Boys? Because the Boys is one of my favorite comic book shows.
Nah, the Boys is another league.
Oh, okay. I'll check out another episode tonight.
But Stargirl is really good. Each episode gets better. Like, it progressively gets better. But yeah, they did that girl dirty with them titty pictures, man.
Yeah, that's messed up. I seen this.
I would have became a superhero too, man.
That shit happened to girls in high school was messed up. I remember that.
And then I think the guy who
was too big.
Who showed it, I think his dad's one of the villains who's in the hospital. They put somebody in the hospital.
Okay, well, check it out.
Yep, it's good. I really like how they're recruiting. I don't know when or who they're going to use for Green Lantern. I feel like they might save that though for later.
Yeah, they're gonna want more than one season, right?
Yeah, because she had the lantern, and at one point she was ready to take everything back because like these guys, they're ready to kill kids. Like I told you, she's like shit's getting too hot because she don't know what she's doing.
Yeah, that stick seems like the lantern, kind of like it chooses you type thing. Very similar.
That stick has its own personality, which I like.
It's also like the carpet in Aladdin.
It's like Doctor Strange's cape.
Yeah, like that too.
Useful with its own personality. So yeah, I give Stargirl a 9 so far. It's been good.
Wow.
It's been really good. It's been like season 1 of Flash and Arrow good.
Okay, that's good. Hope they don't go and break our hearts again.
because they got the production right now. But I feel like if it goes all the way to CW and they start filming in Vancouver, that's when the shit will go downhill. So they need to keep that production up because it's like a movie every episode.
So where can people watch Stargirl?
It's on the DC Universe app, and it's also on CW, and you can also watch it on the CW app for free.
Nice. So I have to use a VPN, finish it off.
Yeah, that or Canada probably has it on what's that channel? Did you guys watch?
CTV
Arrow?
maybe.
Yeah, CTV probably shows it on Tuesday.
Yeah, I'll have to check on that.
Stargirl,
I'll have to check and see.